coach said he wants dogs. He needs dogs. Who are the dogs on this team, do you think?
I think everyone has the potential to be a dog. Everyone brings something to the table that gives them that dog mentality, and I think coach is just pushing us to see who can be the most consistent, who's going to do it day in and day out, no matter who we're playing against.
How do you think you guys played, especially sharing the ball?
Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job. The assist totals, I believe we had 20 assists as a team.
Right.
I mean, that says a lot. Multiple guys who had more than one. Guys are sharing it. We didn't have many turnovers, especially in that second half. We kind of cleaned it up. And as long as we're sharing the ball, making one more pass, being unselfish, good things are going to happen for us on the offensive end.
Sahvir, has Kion been shooting like that in practice too? I mean, we haven't seen him shoot like that the last 2 years. Is that something he's kind of added to his game?
Yeah, definitely. He's put the time in. He's confident. We're empowering him when we pass it to him, like shoot it. I mean, that's a shot you make. He's shooting well in the drills, and I mean, it's not a surprise that he's been able to make shots, not only in practice but in games as well.
This isn't your first rodeo. When Coach was in here, he's like he didn't seem as happy as I was expecting him to be with 20 assists, and sharing the ball and all of that. What is that about as a veteran?
I think part of that is just our interior defense. That's something we got to clean up. And I think that goes back to us having dogs, guys doing it consistently throughout the game, no matter what the score is. Because at the end of the day, we played a really good team, but that isn't the SEC team. That isn't going to be a Final Four team. And those are the goals we have to win the SEC. We want to play for a national championship. And on the defensive side, it starts there. If we're able to defend, and that's when we can use our gifts, limiting teams to one shot, possibly turn them over, and we're in our best in transition. We're able to run and find each other and share, and that's when that 20 assists and when those one more passes come into play.
Why do you think that that interior defense was not as present tonight as?
I'm not sure. Maybe a little bit just anxiety. First game of the year. Playing against somebody else rather than your teammates. It was a little uncomfortable. But that's just a one game look. You always got to find things to get better at. And I think, when we go back and watch the film, hold each other accountable in practice on what needs to get better, and we'll be better from here on out, definitely.
You only turned them over 12 times. What could you have done better to generate a little bit more pressure on the ball, more turnovers?
Yeah, I think some of it, we didn't want to gamble. Teams like that, if you gamble, get out of place, they can linger around, they can stay around. We just wanted to be solid, making sure they were limiting them to one shot and be able to run a transition. So I think that was a little bit of it, but we had some spurts where we were able to get stops. Sometimes great defense isn't always turning the ball over, or making them turn the ball over, I should say. Sometimes great defense is limiting them to one shot, making them take a contested 2 or a contested 3 and rebound the ball and getting out and playing on the break. So turnovers don't always equate to great defense.
20 assists, only 9 turnovers. Are you happy with those numbers?
Definitely. Like I said, we all shared the ball. Guys, no one had more than 2 turnovers. And so that's a great thing. That's a great number. And I know that number could get even better because I know all of us miss some shots that we usually make. Like I said, as part of the, just the first game, jitters, anxiety, being playing against somebody else, and all that's gonna get better as the more we play against somebody else.
What do you feel like your chemistry is like with some of the big guys? And it seems like the lob was working pretty good tonight.
Yeah, with a team this athletic, you don't want to pass anything down as far as bounce passes or chest level passes where the defense kind of will cover with our quick twitch athletes, guys who can catch the ball, can run and jump. We want to use that to our advantage. And if we feel like once we throw it up there's not many people can go and get it with our guys. So that's why we trust that so much.
So what about your chemistry with Ty Ty? I mean, you two are forming a pretty neat backcourt duo.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of speculation with that preseason, like how are we one's gonna play and the other's not. And I know when I committed and when he committed, we both mentioned the fact that we complement each other. He can give me some shots, I can give him some shots. He's a really good shooter. He can space the floor. He's unselfish, and obviously, I'm here to be a servant leader and serve these guys and make these guys' games as easy as possible by looking to create and make plays for others. So I think that's a little bit of that. And we play with each other a lot in practice, but we also compete with each other. So we're pushing each other. I think that's why you kind of see that chemistry, building every time you see us play.
Sahvir, as a guy who's pretty familiar with the Texas high school basketball scene. How would you describe the jump that Damian has to make? I understand he comes from a really small town in Texas, maybe not the competition. What's that jump like?
Well, what do you mean? I know he played in Texas, but he also played on the EYBL, which is one of the best circuits. That is, all those guys on the EYBL probably Division I guys or high major guys. So there's not really a jump, but this is a freshman. It's his first college game. And we gotta give him some time to adjust. I mean, that's everybody. So I don't think you guys can put a one game look at him like, oh, what jump he has to make. I mean, we just seen him in the blue-white scrimmage against us, and we're all veteran players around him, and he was dominating at like what, double, 19 and 10. So he's great where he's at. He's gonna be more comfortable in the next game, and I mean, he's a vital, key piece for us in what he does offensively and defensively.
How do you think the way Kion played tonight, Kion?
Kion on the offensive end was fantastic. 7 for 12, 4 for 6 from 3, 8 rebounds. But on defensive end, I challenged him. There was a couple times where he kind of let his guys score, and I was like, "Yo, you're not guarding. Like, we need you to guard." You know, no offense to that team, but those aren't the players that's on our schedule. We want to win games, and we want to win them at a big time level, and we want to win the national championship. So in order for us to do that, we got to guard. It starts on the defensive end. And I told him, like, yo, you got to guard. At some point, you got to guard. And, you know, he respected that. And, you know, he answered that. I told him he was going to do better. And I know he's capable, what he's capable of. You know the kind of athlete he is, the way he's in the passing lanes, you know, coming through, dunking the ball. He got 8 rebounds, 7 defensive. So, you know, he showed some spurts, but we just need that consistency from him on the defensive end. And offensively, if he does that every night, I don't know. I don't know who's going to be able to stop him.
Another thing I've noticed tonight with you guys in transition, everybody seemed to know where the ball was going. Mm-hmm. And as a point guard, does that make it easier for you knowing that they know where the ball's going to come? Yeah,
I mean, guys know. I know playing with me, I know if they know I have the ball and I'm going to look for them. So they run a little harder knowing that there's a possibility like, hey, if he gets in, I run. I got a shot at getting a shot here. So that always good. And Ty does the same thing. Like, we all play unselfish. We all play for each other. We make one more passes. At the end of the day, we're trying to score the ball as quick as we can with great shots and get back and get stops. So I think with that, that's why you see that.
What do you think you learned about this team tonight? one game in.
I just think the pace we were scoring at. We scored 95 points, but we gave up 72 points. So if we cut the 72 points down to 60, 55, how many points do we get? Because that's some more transition opportunities. So I know how easy we can score the ball, and we also have some sequences where we guard it pretty well. So we can put that make that a 40-minute, 38-minute type of thing where we're at that level offensively. The level defensively as we are offensively, we're going to be a tough team to beat.
How do you compare the spacing of this team to some of the other teams you've had being able to work with that space here tonight?
Yeah, the spacing is different. We got guys who can shoot at every position. Guys who are capable scorers, proven scorers, so it's making the game a lot easier. And all these guys are unselfish. We play for each other. We make the one more pass, so everything's a lot more easier.
You and Kion have competed against each other for a while now on different teams. Now you're on the same team. What do you see out of his game now?
I mean, I've seen his game expand. You know, just us being in the same class in high school. You know, watching how he's like kind of transformed. He went from like a utility, do-it-all kind of player to where he was a role player. You know, his freshman year with a really good Kentucky team. Last year he was hurt, but he showed some promise as far as, you know, offensively being able to take mid-range jump shots and be a guy who can score. To now where he's an all-SEC caliber player. We see him put the full package together, whether it's getting in the passing lanes, creating unassisted baskets, dunking it. Obviously 4 for 6 from 3. Being to space the floor. So Kion is a mismatch at this level, and if you bring that consistency, there's not much people can do with him.
You and Kion both talked about there's areas we need to improve. We're not as good as we think here tonight. Is that the vibe coming from the locker room after the game tonight?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we want to win the national championship. So obviously we know what we do good, but we got to find ways to get better. The biggest thing is winning. And when we win a game like this, we did this good, but like what do we need to get better at? And that was the vibe. It's holding each other accountable to getting better on the defensive end. So I think if you see that, it's just more accountability than anything rather than like but we'll be great. We'll be fine.
Hearing the guys talk about two hands, grabbing rebounds for you guys, has it been a point of emphasis all season or all season just to?
I think that's been a point of emphasis of Coach Cal. You know, I think during his whole coaching career. I remember watching film and I'm hearing him scream 2 hands as the guy is going up for the rebound. Because you don't want to lose a game where you're going up for a rebound with 1 and it slips out your hand. And it's like, yo, there's no excuse for that. So 2 hands is that security, is that toughness that you bring, and allows us to get out on the break and do what we do best.
Kion told us that you make him and really everybody want to run the 4. When a point guard hears that, what is your reaction to
I love that. I love that. I love that a lot. I love being able to get these guys to play their hardest. Because if they're playing their hardest, I'm gonna reward them. That's my job. Make these guys feel good, play good, look good, and win. And guys like Kion, obviously he's a veteran, not only in the college but in this program. Being a guy who's had 2 years experience, if he's buying in and knowing that if he runs that I'm gonna get him, he can spread that message to the other guys and the younger guys at his position. So that's good. That's great. That's great to hear.
He says he has to be a lot more alert now than he's ever been.
Yeah. Now that comes with playing fast. Because with Coach Cal wanting to push the pace, I'm giving everyone that freedom to make plays and make shots.
Dribble separation is something that this team struggled with a lot, and it feels like your presence has allowed this whole offense to change, and like the whole philosophy is different. How do you think your presence has allowed Cal to kind of change the entire system?
I think that's just been my game. Going back from 3rd grade, if I was going to be an effective player at any level, especially with me being undersized at my position, I had to affect the game in some way, and I have elite speed, so why not use my gifts? And when you play in basketball, you want to play fast. It's more possessions. Everyone gets to touch it. Everyone gets to eat, and I think that's part of that. And I think Coach Cal, as long as he knows we're not turning it over, from the guard standpoint, I think some of us were 6'1". I know I was 6'1". Ty. Yeah, he was 2-0. Even Davion was 6'1". So us guards not turning the ball over is giving us more trust. Knowing like, hey, these guys gonna make plays, they're not gonna turn it over. We're gonna make the easy play. And if we do that, we're gonna be fine. I think Coach Cal is letting us, empowering us to. This is our team. It's a player-driven team. Obviously, he's the head honcho. But he's encouraging us and empowering us to make this about us.
I remember during your recruiting process how analytical you were and meticulous and looking at the details. You posted that video about watching the film and all that. Last year's team is just such night and day in terms of pace and just the system itself. How were you able to plug and play yourself watching that film and see yourself in that vision of putting yourself in that offense and kind of seeing what is on the floor now?
Yeah. I think first thing is being able to be upfront with the coaches during the recruiting process and knowing what Coach Cal wanted to get back to. Looking at his teams, the most successful teams and how they played. Those guys, multiple skill position guys who could play fast. Looking at that and knowing that that's how he wants to play. That's how he wants to be. He wants players who are skilled and who can get downhill, who can make open shots, who are unselfish. And so looking at that and also looking at the roster, like who am I going to be playing with? How can I make these guys better? And how can they make me better at the same time? So looking at all that's how we get to where we are, where we'll be able to play fast, we're able to share the ball, make more mores, and do all the things that we've shown offensively tonight.